Alright, this is the prime numbers code. As you can clearly see, it is a lot of if statements. Basically, the code is if the number is greater than or equal to, or in this case greater than 0, a certain number, it'll display every prime number up to then, all the way up to 990, all the way up to 999. Then it'll be 997 as the last one. So I'll build it. Yep. All right, now somebody give me a number.
729.
And it displays every number up, every prime number between 0 and 729, which will be all the way up to 727.
What was the exact logic you used? Because I noticed a bunch of conditional statements. What was your thinking when you were designing this program, Sam?
What I wanted to do was I was originally planning on originally planning on doing like something a lot. I was doing something a lot harder to begin with.
Right.
Then Alan helped me make it simpler.
Oh, okay.
And it eventually became to where I really tried to do it the simplest way I could think of.
Okay.
And so so me and Alan just thought if I just created it greater than or equal to this, it'll display every number up to this number.
Okay, now there's only one disadvantage to the way he did it, right? Can anybody think of it, Shane?
It doesn't go up to 2,000. It doesn't go past 900.
It has
It's very laborious if you go beyond a certain number, right? Now, for numbers that are greater than, say, 700 or 1,000, what would one want to do? What kind of code?
So limit.
Do a loop? Okay.
Yeah, a loop that continues the loop that continues on until the number it displays is greater than the number that's input.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks a lot. Let me pause it right here.
Okay, this is the palindrome code. It takes a word, then it reverses it and compares it to the original phrase. And that's how it determines whether or not something's a palindrome. At first I tried to do this with strings, but I quickly realized that I couldn't figure out how to do that. So then I had to learn how to use character arrays correctly, and that's how I did it then.
And in a way, it's good because a string is nothing more than an array of characters, right? If you really think about it. So if arrays have certain functions that will help you in this palindrome problem, then by all means, convert the string into an array of characters.
So basically it starts out our main where it just goes to real main. The reason I did this is because I was planning on having the project repeat itself originally, but in the end I didn't have enough time to do that because it would have taken too much resetting of variables. Okay, so from here, yeah, this is also for the repeating. I never implemented that. So when it starts out asking you to enter a phrase, it will then get the phrase, and afterwards it will determine the length of the thing. That's how it determines how long to run the loop for. The loop pretty much separates the phrase into its individual characters, and then just puts them backwards in another loop. And later on it'll compare it to the original word, and that's how it'll determine whether or not it is a palindrome.
Okay, how does it compare the word that's been reversed with the original word? How does it do it? Does it do it letter by letter? Or does it look at the overall length? Because you could have two words.
It does it letter by letter.
It doesn't. Yeah, it has to almost.
Yeah,
right?
it does it letter by letter because I couldn't get it to compare the whole array at once. So I'm just gonna run it real quick. So I do kayak. So this is how you see it reversing the letters.
Okay.
And then it just compares it right here, tells you whether or not it's a palindrome. I couldn't get it to like create a reset without having to turn off the thing.
Okay. What about a phrase now? Something with a space.
I haven't like tested that part very much. Let's see. That's not a wait no. Race.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
No,
pass.
race car.
That's a
Both
pass.
of those work.
Well,
Both of those will work.
Let's see. Yeah, it works with space too.
Okay, now do me a favor, run this program again. Okay, now do this, 2 spaces, then race car, followed by just 1 space. Okay, okay,
No.
right, so what happens is it's actually taking into consideration empty spaces.
Yeah.
Even though race car is a palindrome, the fact that you've got 2 spaces in front and only 1 space in the back is significant in this algorithm, right?
Yeah, count spaces as well.
It counts spaces, which is not really. That's something you may want to fix, right?
Well, if you had 2 spaces, then it's because you wanted to compare the spaces. Otherwise, you wouldn't enter that many spaces.
Oh, well, somebody could make a mistake and by accident put a space. See, the reason why I'm saying this is a lot of times people are quick to copy and paste like some phrase that's a password, and if they copy a blank space as well, the password won't work, and you'll be there trying to enter the password that you definitely know that that's the correct password, but it won't let you in because you've pasted in that password field an empty space, which does have an effect. So
That could
in
make,
future programs, when you create something that's like a password security thing, take into consideration if the person inadvertently copies a white space. Shane.
Does it also work with symbols and numbers?
If it works with spaces, it should work with symbols and numbers. I'm not sure if I included those, but yeah, it does.
And numbers?
I actually tested it with numbers.
Oh, you tested with numbers, okay. I like the fact that this program, I like the fact, Alan, that it actually shows you what the computer is doing up until the point where it's comparing the 2.
That was for debugging purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, okay, how would you describe that, Alan, to the class so that they understand that technique for future debugging purposes?
Whenever I try to get the computer to do something, I just make it show me everything that it's doing so I can see where it's going wrong.
Okay, and show me in the code where that is the case.
It's inside the loop. It says, let's see, I think this is it. See, during the loop, after every single character is separated, it just sees out the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Any questions on this? Questions on this code, folks? Okay, pretty good, efficient code. Just one little bug, right? If you enter an empty space.
Yeah, but people, I don't know.
How would you fix that? Just off the top of your head, what would you?
I would
need
probably
to do?
make the spaces show up as asterisks so people could see them.
Right. Okay, that's a good way of doing it. You want to have a visual representation all the time of what you're entering. In the event that a person pastes something, especially with a password field, if you've got a password that's 17 characters long, and by accident you copy that extra blank space,
This is for palindromes.
what'll happen is you won't be able to tell. 17, 18 asterisks, to me it looks the same, right? Yeah, no, I understand that this is a palindrome problem, but it's still, the blank space still creeps up as a bug, right?
Yeah. Okay. What?
And if you enter if you make spaces show up as asterisks,
Stars.
yeah. Then how will you tell the difference between asterisks and spaces if you say have a password that's asterisk space?
Well, in
asterisk?
real life, palindromes don't have asterisks,
I mean-
so it wouldn't be relevant.
In real life.
Okay, very good. Very good, Alan.
How do I stop this?
LP.